And so I kind of hate to bring you down, guys, but unless you haven't heard, retail is dead. Thank you. No, that's actually not how I feel, but it is how this guy feels. How many of you know who this is, by show of hands? Marc Andreessen. You'll recognize this. Marc Andreessen was the co-founder of Netscape Navigator. He came out recently in a Wired magazine article where he said, point blank, retail is dead. He said, if you're a retailer, turn out the lights, close the door, it's over. Basically, he said, software is eating retail. And so, as you can imagine, analysts in the retail community freaked out. You have to agree that the data is pretty compelling. In 2014, for example, $1.5 trillion in e-commerce was conducted worldwide. Now, if the $1.5 trillion doesn't kind of blow your mind, which it might not, because you don't have anything to compare it to, what should impress you is the growth figure of that number, because that's a 23% year-on-year growth factor, a massive amount of growth. Now, just to put a point on it, for every incremental dollar of online sales, Amazon takes 51 cents of that. And everybody else in the marketplace is left to split the other 49 cents. In fact, 44% of searches now for products are not being done on Google, they're being done on Amazon. And Amazon is becoming the default search engine for product. And it's to the point now where the objective or the challenge for e-commerce companies is not to get us to buy things online. It's to get the things that we're buying online to us in this ever-shrinking window of time. There was a time when if you bought something online, you were happy to get it ever, right? You couldn't believe it when it came. You said, holy shit, this came from China. It was unbelievable, right? Now, you're disappointed if it doesn't get to you from China in 2 days. Now, to show you how crazy this has gotten, Amazon recently applied for a patent for what they're calling anticipatory shipping. What that means, in theory, is that Amazon will ship you something before you order it. They might even ship it to you before you know you want it. Now, what people are saying is, when does this start to level out? When does this start to normalize, right? When does e-commerce stop growing at 14% and start growing like the rest of the retail economy at 2 or 3%? And I don't think that's going to happen for a long time. And the reason I say that is I sort of feel that we really are truly at the end of the beginning of e-commerce. And the reason I say that is because of technologies like this. Now, I grant you that the technology looks rather clunky right now, right? I mean, we can't really envision ourselves walking through spaces, you know, wearing this as it stands today. But we're very, very early into this. But this is the kind of experience potentially that we could have going forward into the future. On the right-hand side, you see what this young lady is experiencing. On the other side, you see what she is actually seeing in her virtual world. So the ability to potentially interact with products in an environment, get information, get video, change the color of those shoes, and transact that purchase. So it is completely conceivable that we will be sitting on our sofa, shopping a store in Milan, and getting personal service from someone on the other side. We also see that the internet's becoming infinitely more physical. Now, maybe we really and truly are seeing the end of retail as we know it. And I thought long and hard about it, and in fact, I don't think that's the case. But I think more often than not, correct me if I'm wrong, but we shop because it's fun. Sometimes we shop because it's, you know, a way of sort of passing the time, entertaining ourselves, and it's a way of getting out in public, right? And I mean, if online were really the panacea that Marc Andreessen would have us believe, then why are all these online companies going offline? Amazon just opened a bookstore, if you can appreciate the irony of that. And I believe it's because they recognize that you cannot fully actualize as a brand unless you can build that physical, eye-to-eye, and maybe even emotional bond with the consumer, as Apple has done so well all these years. But we also have to appreciate that everything about how we shop, where we shop, and even why we shop is changing, and it's changing pretty dramatically. So, I mean, this is the end of the world, if you're interested in how that's going to look. But it's to the point now where Forrester research predicts that 50%, fully 50% of all retail transactions, of all consumption, is going to be affected either directly or indirectly by a mobile device. Now is a new day, a new era, and it's incredible. And the beauty of today is that it's a level playing field. Every single brand out there has an opportunity to be remarkable. And it happens when somebody comes into your store. Every time a consumer comes in and shops your store, which is happening millions of times today, they have the potential now to turn the funnel around and make it work. Because now that shopper has the potential to be the most powerful media agent on earth for a brand. So it's not a dark period in history. It's not a bad time in business. It's the most inspired and remarkable time we've ever been presented with. And my encouragement is, let's not waste it. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.